The snail is fast.
The sail's fast. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the snail is fast.
Yeah, yeah. The sail's fast.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's gonna be the new joint on the street. My snail is
The snail's fast. The snail is fast. The snail is fast.
The snail is fast. Jesus fucking Christ!
Shine-
I cannot stand that type of fucking music.
Shine Your Love has more lyrics than that. It has a better rhythm, too.
I agree.
Okay, so we just got out of The Snail is Fast.
The snail is fast.
Okay, well, I kind of said this, going in. Well, I hesitate to get too annoyed or mad at seeing Turbo because, I mean, at least we weren't at Grown Ups 2.
Yeah.
We weren't at Grown Ups 2. Like, I'd sit through this several more times before I'd attempt to watch Grown Ups 2.
Yeah. There's no way in hell I would ever sit through Grown Ups too.
Yeah.
I mean, I had my limit at That's My Boy, and yeah, I talked to Brian afterwards, and he's willing to have both me and him. This is contingent upon me agreeing to this, which I don't.
Yeah.
But he has agreed that he'll watch That's My Boy, and I'll watch Grown Ups too.
To decide which one is
To
worse.
decide which one is officially worse.
I
I'm not going to do that because that would require me to watch Grown Ups 2. And a fuck you, Brian. That one's on you. Nobody helped me out at That's My Boy. Y'all go suck a dick. I'm not watching Grown Ups 2.
From what I know about both movies, I would probably rather sit through Grown Ups 2 because
I honestly
two
think I would,
reasons.
too.
One, wasn't That's My Boy like 2 hours long?
Yeah.
And Grown Ups 2
Grown
is
Ups
like
2
90
is-
minutes.
Yeah.
And also, and That's My Boy, and I'm with you on Adam Sandler. Namely, I think his comedies are even worse when he's using a stupid voice, and in That's My Boy, he does.
He
So
uses
that
a stupid voice.
that would instantly make me dislike that movie more. I don't know how much there is to talk about Turbo.
Sounds fast.
Other than the snail is fast. The snail's fast. The snail is
The
fast.
snail is fast.
The snail is very fast.
The snail is incredibly fast.
Okay, so Ryan Reynolds stars as a snail named Theo, which really confused the kid in our audience.
That was actually really, really adorable.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I mean, the marquee and everything. Of course, the kids are gonna know this snail. His name is Turbo.
Yeah.
But the snail's actual name in the movie was Theo, and his brother Snail.
Yeah.
Like calls him Theo at one point.
Yeah, like everyone calls him Theo.
Yeah, everyone calls him Theo, and the poor little boy behind is like, "His name is Turbo."
Why are they calling him Theo?
Why? No, his name is Turbo.
His name is Turbo. Why are they calling him Theo?
And like that moment right there, I kind of glanced back at the kid a little bit because it made me laugh, and it dawned on me as like, there's a future little me right there who's already getting pissed off at the movie. He doesn't quite understand what's upsetting him, other than his name should not be Theo, it should be Turbo.
This kid was enthralled.
He was.
He's the one kid, apparently the one kid, and he was probably like 5.
Oh, he was little. He was a little guy. He introduced himself when we first walked in.
That's what I mean.
This kid was awesome. Yeah, I have to watch a lot of just absolute shit, terrible family movies for this website. But occasionally, I really don't normally mind the younger audience while I'm watching it, because usually the shit the kids are saying is 90 times funnier than what the hell is.
That was the case in Ice Age 4.
Yeah, exactly. And like, as soon as we walked in, the little boy was like, "Hi, are you here to see Turbo?" Everybody was like, "We sure are, buddy." Yeah, we were the first ones in here, huh?
Oh, we in the wrong theater. I'm here to see some titties. Thank you. Leave.
God damn it, Brian.
Yeah, like apparently this kid is like the one kid in Springfield who's really, really looking forward to Turbo.
He sure is.
He was the only kid. This movie actually opened yesterday, yesterday was Tuesday. It had its pre-screening last night. None of us could go to it, so it's just harder to on Tuesday screenings. So instead we're here seeing it Wednesday night, and there was like that kid and his parents and us dirty assholes sitting in this theater with the one kid who's really looking forward to this movie. And it seemed like he enjoyed himself.
It seemed like he kind of enjoyed himself, so...
Yeah.
Well, props. I'll never get mad at somebody for enjoying a film. I may not like it, which I did not like this movie, but that will never, ever stop anybody from enjoying some random piece of shit. And that little kid's the perfect example.
Yeah.
Is whatever. Yeah. I like the movie. You go get him, little 5-year-old.
Well,
but as a whole, this movie was just... The concept alone is just really kind of dumb.
And I could get behind that if it was at least funny. It's really not that funny at all. I snickered every now and then, but nothing really major, nothing that I honestly can really remember all that well. Once in a while I'd kind of snicker at something, but that was it. I mean, the movie's dumb, and really not even a good kind of dumb. It's just kind of pointless. It's well-worn territory in terms of story. But I mean, I'll say it's completely harmless. The movie is completely harmless, and if you're a 5-year-old kid, you'll probably get something out of it, but really that's it. Like, nothing really beyond being about 4 or 5 years old, or are you really going to get anything out of it?
Yeah.
This is strictly for really, really little kids, and it's not condescending like Oogie Loves was, or just flat out insulting. It's not. I was more mad at Epic. Epic was... this movie's better than Epic, but this is just a forgettable kids movie. I didn't really see much point in it. It's like, I get it, I'm not the target audience for it, but in this particular case, I mean, there's really no adult or even older kid enjoyment to be had out of it, unless you're, like I said, like kindergarten, preschool, or earlier. But Ryan Reynolds, he's this snail named Theo, and he and all of the other snails, you got Paul Giamatti, you got a snail with a mustache, they all work in a garden, which translates to they just tear this lady's garden apart, eating her vegetables. Why she hasn't called an exterminator, I have no idea.
Oh, she has her hard-ass little boy there to keep patrol.
With his aviator sunglasses
with this
on.
huge-ass aviators, which I can relate to. I don't even... Oh, shit, mine are...
Did you forget him back in the theater?
Oh, no, I didn't.
I forgot my keys in the theater.
Like these kinds of aviators.
Respect my authority.
Respect my authority kind of aviators. Mm-hmm. And like chewing on a toothpick and riding a tricycle. He is the law, Brad.
Yeah. He will fucking run your ass over. If he catches a fucking snail,
you're fucked.
You're fucked. Or like...
Which, speaking of, there was an awful lot of snail death in this. At least 3.
There is, because when they're working in this garden, which is just picking tomatoes and then eating them is their job. That's like saying that, hey man, what's your job? My job is ordering Jimmy John's. But every now and then, a crow will come out of nowhere, pick one up, bam, fly away and leave, and they'll be standing there like, oh, well, there goes Fred. All right, boys.
Hey, get back to work.
Back to work, boys. Wow. About 3 times this happens, and I'm just picturing that it's like the end of Jeepers Creepers, where it has wings and picks up Justin Long and flies away with him. Like, if we were to follow that crow, it would lead to like a horrible workshop with Jeepers Creepers playing, and he's now wearing the snail's eyes. There's a much darker movie.
You went a little bit more morbid with that one, Brad.
I'm just saying, there's a much darker movie if you follow that crow.
There's a much darker.
Creepers.
Where'd you get them peas? I can kind of get behind that. Of course, every single movie is darker inside of your fucking mind.
I'm just saying, I see a movie about snails, somehow instantly I go to the creeper torture. But
It's actually relatively mild, all considering.
Considering what I usually watch.
Considering what you usually watch and where your mind would go from
Yeah.
there. You're the only person I know that I could sit there and watch some kind of stupid-ass exploitation film, and you'll say something that's actually worse than what the hell that I'm seeing at the moment. It's like, hey, you know what would be funny? If they just wore her vagina like a hat.
that would have been the funniest part in Epic. I'm just saying. If her,
It's the dad just was like, ha!
I wouldn't have put it past that character. He had some serial killer tendencies, it looked like.
Yeah, a little
He
bit.
sees little talking people, has a terrible relationship with his daughter. Clearly that translates to must wear vagina. He was gonna rip off Goodbye Horses from Signs of the Lambs, but it was too late because the remake of Maniac already ripped it off. But so snails. So Ryan Reynolds snail dreams of being in the Indy 500. He dreams of racing. He dreams of being very, very fast. He times himself on racing a yard, like is in 3 feet. And so by night he goes out to look at the traffic, which honestly there's no rhyme or reason to how fast he is before he gets his power, because earlier it shows, and dear God, believe me, do I know I'm nitpicking right now, but
Come on, Brad, why can't you just enjoy the movie for what it was? Why you gotta be a dick?
it's because it's given me something to talk about. Like really, like this
movie is incredibly forgettable. Like if
Yeah.
we don't like nitpick or do our job right now, I'm not gonna remember this.
Yeah, and I'm
goddamn
just
thing
doing this
later.
jokingly. This isn't actually like me like this is
no.
why I hated it.
Yeah, this is why I hated it. There was no real distinction between how fast this little snail can go. In one scene, it took him 17 minutes to travel 3 feet.
See, you noticed
and
it.
in the next scene, he went from point A, which was visually, let's say, 100 yards, give or take.
Going from the house to the highway.
Going from the house to the highway.
It seemed like it was it 100 yards? It seemed like it was across town to me.
It was something.
Yeah.
It was a long distance, let's say, and he made that really quick.
Yeah, he was really
like
quick
within a
at
couple
doing
of
that.
swipes, he was already there.
It seems like as long as he gets inside of his shell and rolls around, that makes him go faster. So then he ends up in the movie The Fast and the Furious. He ends up in The Fast and the Furious on top of one of the cars racing this other dude.
Paul Walker.
It wasn't Paul Walker. It was like, it looked
Yeah,
like...
it was the Vin Diesel in the Paul Walker car. He
That
landed
was
on the Vin Diesel car.
It was the Vin Diesel and Paul Walker car, but the guy inside of it looked like...
he looked like...
He looked like Edward Norton's fat Nazi friend from American History X.
Yeah, he really did. There was that weird moment.
Yeah.
And this happens a lot in this movie, and I really just don't understand these people's hatred for these snails.
Yeah.
But in that scene where they're doing the drag race, like the illegal street races kind of thing, like Turbo's up front, like on a hood ornament kind of thing, and he's like leaning forward, like, "Grr, I'm gonna beat you." And like it pans over, and the driver of the Paul Walker car is just mean mugging this snail, like, "You go fuck yourself, snail." And he's not the only character who's just. It's this weird hatred for
because they saw Epic. Remember how mad we were at snails after Epic?
Those were slugs.
Oh, that's true. They were shellless.
No shell over her, baby. Yeah, I remember that.
Snailed it. Hang shell. Oh my god, they say snailed it in the movie.
Yeah, they sure did.
And
Honestly, the snail puns were relatively low in this.
yeah, really, there was snailed it.
There was snailed it. There was
shell, yeah.
Yeah, there was the shell, yeah. There was shell, yeah. But really, there wasn't really that many just terribly stupid puns.
You know, really, like, even the song is really lazy. The song is just, that snail is fast.
That snail is fast. That snail is fast. I really do not like the direction that music has kind of been going lately.
Oh, you mean like that god-awful sampling they did of Eye of the Tiger?
Eye of the Tiger, and they did, was that the snail is fast? Was that the...
The snail is fast thing was when, like, when the snail gets his powers and he becomes like a YouTube sensation, and YouTube.
Oh no!
Okay,
Yeah.
The snail is fast. The snail is fast. Yeah.
I got to watch a meme happen in front of me on the fucking movie.
They really want that meme to take off. Like, well, I left my keys in the theater. We had to go back in and get it, and we went back in the theater, and the credits were rolling, and it was the song, "The snail is fast, the snail is fast." That's it. Like, even the theme song to Wild Wild West had more substance than that.
Wiki, wow, wow.
Wiki. I'm wearing a cowboy hat. I'm wearing a cowboy hat. I'm wearing a cowboy hat. But you gotta talk about how he gets his powers, where he ends up in the thing of nitrous oxide.
Okay.
Suddenly it turns into the opening credits from Fight Club.
It kind of did, didn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So here's how Theo, or Turbo, gets his super speed powers. While he's on the Vin Diesel car, he gets sucked into the inner mechanisms of a car. I'm going to go ahead and pause here for a minute.
Yeah.
An engine running at the speed that these guys were doing. You know, they're drag racing. Mm-hmm. The pistons, I don't know the exact number, but let's say it's fast. Like, really fast.
Like the snail.
Like the snail. Who's really fast.
I hear he's fast.
I heard he's very fast. I'm sorry. So they show Turbo. He's inside the inner mechanisms of the engine. The pistons are pumping. I don't know how the hell this snail is not fucking dead.
Yeah.
So he's inside the engine. It should not be possible, but okay, whatever. Let's suspend belief for a second.
Yeah.
And so the driver of the Vin Diesel is kind of starting to lose the race, so he hits the nitrous oxide, give him some boost. When he hits the button, now I'm not the biggest gearhead or very good at...
Oh, come on, right before the movie we drove on Mars. Cruising! Yeah!
We did cruise all over Mars. That doesn't make me a car expert, Brad. That just means I play...
It makes us a Mars expert.
Hell yeah, it does.
We play this race at Cruising
Cruising
USA before every movie we go see.
And so he hits the nitrous, and I always thought that nitrous came in a tank and that it was gas. Mm-hmm. And the gas goes inside of it, gives you a little extra horsepower. Mm-hmm. That's the way it works. Well, the movie showed it as some kind of blue, shiny liquid.
Yeah.
That was going through the inner mechanisms, and when the blue nitrous liquid hit Turbo, he absorbed the powers of nitrous oxide.
Yeah, like
it gets shot out.
He just straight up
now,
becomes a
look,
car.
I've inhaled the magical powers of nitrous oxide.
Yeah.
It gets you really high for about 20 minutes, and then you get a side-splitting headache.
But are you fast?
No, you're really not. You're just, I shouldn't have done that.
I'm fast.
No, it's actually not a good idea.
Yeah.
And it's... The issue I think I have with this is that when you're going to mutate a character in a movie, and you're going to use a substance that within the movie itself is actually acting normally. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, you mean as opposed to like it's not a radioactive thing that,
yeah, and even then, I can actually understand the radioactive spider, you know, how the comic books have it, because technically speaking, radioactive waste does mutate you. It gives you cancer, which is a mutation, but it's still a mutation.
Yeah.
So I can see that jump between, oh, okay, it mutates you. This is just a different form of the mutation.
Yeah.
I can completely get behind this.
I drank a cup of gasoline.
I drank apparently a cup of nitrous oxide. Now I can travel at 230 miles per hour.
Oh, not just that. He just straight up turns it into a car.
It's not even that he gains those superpowers. Like, he has headlights coming out of his eyes. Occasionally, his eyeballs will hit together, and he'll like blast music out of his mouth.
Yeah, when he backs up, it's
which doesn't make any sense. He was inside of like a hot rod car. They don't have that necessary backing up motion, because that's for heavy machinery or big trucks, something that cannot see correctly when they back out. So the beeps are for other people. Why did he absorb that? Like, I can even see the stupid ass car alarm thing, the car system coming out of his mouth. I can see the turn signals, the brake lights. But why the backing up noise?
Because it was just for the sake of the joke where he's like, that's new. I didn't know I could do that. Anyway.
Yeah, that was worth the entire joke. It's like, that's new. Look at that. Like, like something else falls on. Fuck it.
It's just really not that. It's just really not that funny. Like, if it were really funny, I mean, that would be one thing, and it's not. I mean, honestly, I don't know what much else to say about the whole setup. Like, he becomes really fast, and he gets fired for crashing
the hard-ass's tricycle.
Yeah, for crashing the big wheel into the garden because he was trying to run over him, but he gets on the wheel and it makes it go very fast, and then it flies into the garden, and he gets fired, to which it's sort of like, dude, you can go like 200 miles an hour. Just be like, you guys sure you want to fire me? Look what I can do. Zip, 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 zip. Really? Are you sure you want to fire me?
Not even that. He gets fired for knocking over the tomato plants. That actually seems a little bit more beneficial to the slugs, because they can kind of just pick the tomatoes up off the ground. They don't have to expose themselves anymore.
Yeah,
that's
or
actually a little
by crows.
By crows, they can actually hide within the wreckage. That actually makes more sense. It makes their job a little bit easier.
Yeah,
since all their job is to eat this poor lady's tomatoes.
There's like, apparently, just maybe she's dead. She's inside dead.
And then there's just some little 3-year-old in a tricycle still manning the garden.
Hey, he's probably the one who murdered her. You ever see The Paperboy? He probably fucking did that shit.
I did not see The Paperboy, but I can only assume it's some kind of really weird fucking movie where a paperboy kills people.
Yeah.
Okay. He wasn't a paperboy, Brad.
We just didn't see him on his route.
Route?
Or paperboys have routes, right?
Yeah, paperboys have routes.
I know paperboys have routes because our friend Mike Rudolph used to have a paper route, and we would dress in a Yeti costume and jump out of the snow and scare him.
How's that even worked on some other human being?
It's very early in the morning, and there was snow outside. You know, like, in the morning, you're not all the way there in your head, and there's snow. All right, look, I do not function. Yeah.
Probably out of everyone you know, I function the least coherently when I very first wake up.
Me too.
I'm very just out of it. And if I'm making a delivery route, as I see somebody pop out doing booga booga booga, I'm going to know immediately it's one of my stupid jackass friends.
Well, yeah, because I tipped you off on it.
You wouldn't have to tip me off. The only people I know on this planet that would do something like this are my fucking friends.
Or a Yeti
There are no Yetis in Springfield, Brad.
Wait, how often do you carry Jack Link's jerky on you?
Not very often, because I don't
See,
want
you're
to.
fine.
No,
You don't
I
wanna
don't
mess with
I don't mess
Sasquatch.
with Sasquatch. He
Yeah.
is a gentle giant. There's no reason to be like, look at what I can do, Sasquatch, you dick. Here, I'm gonna pull up the seat for you. I'm gonna pull it away.
I will carry Jack Link's jerky on me, just so I can apologize for killing the rest of his family in Undead Nightmare. I'm really sorry. I didn't know that storyline was gonna end so dark and depressing. You killed my family.
You didn't even give that man the honorable death. You just walked away.
No, I think I did.
Did you? Because when I played Red Dead, I didn't hesitate.
Yeah.
My family, bang! Shut up.
Well,
You're all dead.
I was kind of like, well, maybe like there's more, and he only knows the 5 other ones, like, but there could be some other ones out there. There's still hope.
There's no hope, man. You killed them all.
Not Harry. You saw Harry in the Hendersons. He's still alive.
No, he's not.
Oh, that's right. The characters in Strange Wilderness shot him.
Yeah, they did.
Oh. So
We've been talking about all kinds of other movies besides really this.
besides this one, like,
Unfortunately, it's just
he ends up.
blasé. It just bleh.
There's a guy who runs a taco stand, and he works in this. What do you call that kind of area that he works in? There's
The ghetto.
Oh, right. No, there's like a couple stores there.
Strip
There's
mall?
like yeah, it's like a tiny strip mall. Like there's this taco stand, and there's a nail salon and a garage, and Michelle
In a
Rod-
hobby shop.
in the hobby shop, and Michelle Rodriguez runs the auto body shop, and Ken Jeong as old lady Ken Jeong looks just like him, just as an old lady, and talks like fucking Mr. Chow. Are those snails, bitches? Shut up. They all race snails, and the taco guy finds Turbo, and Turbo talks him into, or gets him to go along with putting Turbo in the Indy 500. But whenever the snails talk, they're so small so the humans can't hear them, nor do I think they have any awareness that they do talk. But what the snail does because every time he moves really fast, there's like a streak of light. So he talks him into doing the Indy 500 by doing a bunch of circles around a billboard that says Indy 500 and drawing arrows towards it. And my thing is kind of like, okay, the fact he can go really fast is one thing, but clearly this snail has some really superior intelligence. Like, that would honestly really be my thing. I was like, wow, like, this snail seems to, like, understand what I'm saying, and, like, maybe I should get, like, a hearing aid or something and listen to him talk, or give him a bullhorn or something.
A little tiny snail blowhorn.
Yeah, I'm sure they make those in, like, some gumball machines or something like that.
Oh yeah, no, they're a dime a dozen.
Oh,
You can get like a little bag of them.
It's been 20 years since I bought a thing of Cracker Jacks. Maybe that's what the prize is now.
Snail-sized blowhorn.
Well, I don't know. I don't go to many baseball games anymore.
Wait, what? You don't go to
That's how the song goes. You buy your peanuts, your Cracker Jacks.
motherfucker.
And once you get those,
I walked
you-
right into that, didn't I?
You really won't even care if you ever get
I
back.
hate you so much, man. God,
Not a
damn it.
baseball fan?
No, I'm not a baseball fan.
RBI baseball is cool.
RBI baseball.
Base Wars.
Base Wars is by far the most superior
Oh, yeah.
baseball.
You're robots, you're fighting, and there's baseball.
Hell yeah, it's fantastic.
You get a home run, you see a spaceship. It's great. Oh, Base Wars is awesome. So they take him to the Indy 500, him and the rest of his snail friends who are the comic reliefs. His brother is Paul Giamatti. Samuel Jackson is literally the Black Snail. Snoop Dogg is there just to say snizzle manizzle every 5 minutes or so. That's seriously
Dog's there to do.
that's the
Snoop
extent
Dogg
of his
thing.
dialogue. That's it. And the others I didn't really recognize. There's one of them who keeps going, "I'm the White Shadow," and that's all he says throughout
Oh,
the
yeah,
movie.
the White Shadow.
White
yeah.
Shadow. You've seen
That
that in the trailer. That's all this character says in it. He says it like 500 times in the fucking movie.
That doesn't grate on your nerves.
So the snail enters the race, and really, it's there's just not much to it. There's the underdog snail. There's his brother who doesn't believe in him till the end, and the snail gets the power, and at the end of the movie he's gonna lose the power. He has his trainer. There's the comic relief, and then there's his nemesis, Guy, the French driver.
Which it was. The only reason why he really became the villain is just so they could do the whole meeting your heroes may not be everything that you hope to be.
In this, it's sort of like, what did he think was gonna happen? He is his competitor, and
The guy is a professional racer.
Yeah.
His job is to win races. If you're in any kind of sport or anything that really asks for competition, there's
Yeah.
going to be those kinds of people
Yeah.
that want to be number one.
yeah,
And he's just one of those people. You're right. What the hell do you expect?
yeah.
I mean,
all
he
he really just kind of said was that. The guy was an egomaniac
Well, yeah,
and a jerk,
yeah.
but really, like, a jerk in the way that, like, an arrogant competitor would be. Like, up until at the end, he just straight up tries.
Then he
murdering
just
him.
goes straight fucking crazy.
Yeah, he just straight up tries murdering him at the end. But at that point, he really didn't. He just kind of be like, "I'm gonna win," and blah blah blah. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? Like, okay. So they have the race, and like he just straight up is trying to murder him by running him over, stepping on him.
Here's something I learned about this movie.
Yeah.
That because I don't watch a lot of racing because it's really fucking boring to me.
Me too. I don't watch that shit either.
I did not know this, but apparently in the Indy 500, the outside lane, which would be as they're turning left, the
Yeah.
one that's by the wall, that's the outside lane.
Oh, the marbles.
The marbles. I didn't know that, and when they first said that, I was really hoping like that guy up top who does the checkerboard just was like, lap 30, marble time! It just dumps like this huge... It just dumps this
Yeah.
huge bag of marbles, because if that really happened, I could get behind racing.
Yeah. Like if the
it's
tracks.
at like 300 miles per
Yeah.
hour, just hit a bunch of marbles and watch it. Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh my, I could really get behind
Like
that.
the tracks look like they do in Speed Racer. Like,
Yeah!
I can get behind that. There's loop-de-loops. There's Ring of Fires and shit
That
like
would
that.
be awesome.
I can get behind that.
Hell yeah.
But it's what it is. It's just the burn and the wear and tear off of their tires.
Yeah,
and,
it's the tire damage. It's
Yeah,
like
but-
when you're running that fast. Racing people already know this, but when you're racing that fast, it damages your tire. Your tire kind of pieces off. That's what they were referring to as the that kind of tire shaving shit goes apparently on the outside lane. But they call it marbles.
yeah.
That's really all I wanted to talk about.
It was the marbles.
I just really wanted that checkered flag dude just to whee.
What about the end with him dragging his...
This part was a little bizarre because they got Turbo entered as a snail. Okay, so if we're using the rules of racing,
Yeah.
it's the driver and the car have to make the finish line. That's why Guy
Yeah.
was dragging his car. Turbo didn't have to do that because he was entered as a snail, so he could happily cross.
Yeah.
The ending, this is where it just gets like, can we wrap this up? Because you're starting to get into the trying
Yeah.
too hard category, but like Guy, like it shows like Turbo like inching his way towards the finish line, and Guy like. I don't know how heavy Indy cars are either, but like his car, like you see like little little turbo like this, like in the screen, and over
Yeah.
here is like the Indy car. You see the Indy car like here on its side get flipped back over on its tires, and it was just Guy like, yeah! Like it just became like this murderous, vindictive rage. Like he had to beat this snail.
I will not be beat by a snail.
I don't know why he gives a fuck. I mean, whatever. All right,
he's
but
dragging
okay.
the thing.
He's like, he gets in, he tries to start it, it blows
Yeah.
up. He like picks up the entire front end of a car. I've picked up a car by myself before.
Yeah.
Granted, it was an adrenaline rush, so it was like really quick. But
Yeah.
I picked a car up off the front end, the motor part, because I got mad.
Yeah.
But I would not be able to drag it.
Yeah.
Dead weight. And like this car is all kinds of fucked up. Like the back tires aren't working.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah.
the front end's all,
it's
and he
practically
just
on fire.
like "Rah! Ah! Ah! Ah!" like something else falls on. Fuck it! Ah! Like if he could, he would just pick
Yeah.
it up over his back. Ah! Ah! I will not beat by this snail.
And simultaneously, he's trying to stomp on the snail.
Yeah, he's like trying to stomp and stop it. It's just pathetic.
There's got to be some rules against snail.
killing your competitor.
Snail or no snail, there's
He's
got to be
still
some.
a racer. He's
Yeah.
still a legitimate registered racer.
Yeah.
You can't just go off 86 some motherfuckers
Yeah.
because they're beating you in a race.
Yeah,
You just can't do that.
that's death race rules.
Hell yeah. But he crosses finish line happily ever after. The end of Cars 2 where Radiator Springs was failing and they did the race and now Radiator Springs is awesome. The strip mall was failing. They did the Indy 500. Now the strip mall is booming business.
And that's it.
There you go.
And that's it, really. I mean, I can't say there was anything in it that I was pissed off at. I mean, nothing
There
to
are some
the.
things that like grated on my nerves.
Well, yeah,
but nothing really noteworthy. Like nothing that I
Nothing
can
like
really
the
remember.
slugs
Like, yeah, nothing
and-
that like offended me on a certain level where I had
Yeah.
to angrily remember it. It was
Yeah.
just like it was irritating. And then like 10 minutes later, it's like I don't remember what the hell I was supposed to remember to bring up later in the review.
What I think the funniest part of this whole thing was I wish to God there was like some people standing around the entrance to that particular theater, to that particular auditorium. Like, I don't know, maybe waiting for another movie or something like that. Because the sight of me and Jake looking like we fucking do, drink in hand, Jake probably had his sunglasses on at this point, walking out of the two doors that say turbo across the top of it, and just be like well, that was stupid.
Why did you two cynical pricks just go into that movie?
That had to have been hilarious. Because we walk out and Jake's just, that was stupid. Like, someone, like, seriously, if I saw that with my own eyes, two people who look like us walking out of a fucking turbo of all things, just saying that, looking like we do, and they said that would make my fucking day. Like, why were you there? I don't think this movie is made for you. Ah! You get out of here, Ma. Why isn't Sarah here? She loves these things.
I shouldn't have laughed at that, but that is really funny. You fucking moth.
Well, that's why, like, I think her favorite of the Josh Hadley meme generators was something like, it was like, maid forgets to iron clothes, fills her mouth with moths. No es bueno.
No es bueno.
Oh, okay, that was a part that kind of made me laugh in this, when they were showing all of the other things that taco guy
Was
tried
it the
doing.
monkey thing?
Yeah.
I guess I kind of
Monkeys
snickered.
no bueno.
Monkeys no bueno.
One of them was like, because he runs the taco stand with his brother, who I believe his brother is Luis Guzman.
Yeah.
And he's talking about all the things that he did to fail. to fail promoting the taco stand, and one of them was apparently he had just live monkeys running around at once, and so the headline on the paper was "Monkeys No Bueno," and
That was funny.
one was like he was dressed up as a giant taco, and his brother was Charo.
I'm trying to have a goddamn moment with my fan base.
It seems they throw in a lot of, and the side characters really aren't very funny, nor are they interesting at all, but they throw in a lot because really the character Turbo isn't that good of a character. He doesn't honestly, he doesn't say much. He probably has the least amount of dialogue out of all the main characters. He kind of races around a lot. He says something every now and then, and it's really no more than just, I can do this. I was made to do this. I know I can go really fast. Or at the beginning of the movie before he got his power and he literally did nothing but mope for 20 minutes.
Mope, bitch, and whine.
Yeah, and that was it. Really, there's nothing to this character at all.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
It doesn't matter that Ryan Reynolds is the voice of this guy. It doesn't matter, and it does not matter that Michelle Rodriguez is the voice of that auto worker.
No.
Or any of the other side.
There's really no reason for any of these actors to be mentioned in this, like Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, no, as much as I hate to say it, because he annoys me, at least that it made sense that Ken Jeong was the voice of that character, because the character was obviously modeled after him with his personality and with him in mind. So I get that it was annoying, but I get it. Other than that, Michelle Rodriguez maybe has a few lines in it. Just get a voice actor, seriously, like we mentioned this in Epic.
Yeah,
there's no need for these A-list actors
to get these A-list actors doing really minor roles in these animated films.
Yeah.
And it's not, there's a whole adage that there's no small parts in Hollywood, but boy, there really is.
Yeah.
And once you've gotten to the point of, if even aside from personal feelings of how you may feel about any of these actors in this movie, they are all legitimate A-list actors. Ryan Reynolds, Michelle Rodriguez,
Sam Jackson,
Samuel Jackson, Luis Guzman. He may not be A-list, but he's been in more fucking movies than I ever will.
Yeah,
and there's no need. Like Samuel Jackson, there's no need for that. Just get a voice actor. Why is that a dying art form? Why are most voice... Like, it seems like most voice actors, when they do get work, it's like just animated movies that just go direct to DVD.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the Marvel, the comic book, the Iron Man, there's a whole shit ton of them.
And the voice work in those are amazing.
It's fucking amazing. I love Frank... I'm going to brutalize his last name. Tassacor? The guy who does the voice of Hulk.
Okay.
Fantastic voice of Hulk. I like his voice. He has a really good voice. Chris Connolly. There's all kinds of just really, really good voice actors.
Jim Ward.
Yeah,
Jim Ward, Billy West.
Blum, Billy
John
West.
DiMaggio.
Yeah, there's a gamut of them.
Yeah.
Use them. Because that's what they do. That's their job.
Yeah.
They're good at creating a character using only their voice.
Yeah.
They'll model their mannerisms and whatnot, but really it's the voice. It's the voice that sells it. This is an animated movie. The visuals are done on a computer. Now the voice has to match everything. The voice in these animated movies is incredibly important. And all they're really doing is just bankrolling on, hey, I recognize that as...
Sometimes they don't even know what the movie's about.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen that in interviews, where I saw an interview with, I can't remember who it was, but they were on Craig Ferguson recently, and both of them were talking about How to Train Your Dragon, because they were both in it. God damn it, I can't remember who the other person was. But anyway, one of the things that they said was that when they were reading the lines, they didn't know what the movie was about. They're just hired to put this voice in
Read
here for
these
a little
lines.
bit. And yet Ryan Reynolds, I mean, he's just talking like Ryan Reynolds in this. There's no need for a physical actor like Ryan Reynolds, who's a really good physical actor.
Yeah,
Like he's a good
yeah.
physical comedic actor.
agree.
There's no reason for him to be doing this. Whereas, honestly, with some of the same, like, I think they should have given that character more dialogue. But
I
if
agree.
they did, if you get like a trained voice actor in there to really, really make something out of that, they could have probably made the Turbo character a little more interesting than he was. I don't really know how, but I'm not. But I've seen that happen before with many gifted voice actors. They really learn the part and they fucking make something of it. They fucking make something kind of unique out of it, using just their voice.
Just their
And
voice. They create the character that we see using their voice.
Oh, and I forgot one of the crows did end up getting killed.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I forgot about that part because we were like, "Oh Jesus!"
Yeah, there was a part where the brother gets picked up by the crows and Turbo uses his speed. He saves them, whatever, and they're fucking the crows up. And like, one is like, kind of like spirals in the midst of feet, kind of like, "Quah!" is going to fly away, and then out of nowhere, "Wah!" Bam! And then you see the feathers just
Oh yeah.
dead bird.
He swallows Turbo, and Turbo.
Oh, that's what it was. That's what it
Turbo's
was.
bouncing around in his stomach. Like, I thought we were gonna see inside the stomach, because like when Turbo turns into Turbo, you see like his heart and his veins, like his whole. You see the inside of him is just genetically he's mutating. But so I was like, I swear to God, is Turbo just gonna fly out of his chest? That isn't what happened. He flies out of the mouth, and the crow takes off, and
Gets hit by
bam,
a
bus.
Take that, crow.
Do you? What's your? Because I don't think either of us would recommend this.
I would not recommend it just
Yeah.
because. I mean, it's a forgettable. I mean, if
It
you
is.
happen to have like a little 5-year-old or a 6-year-old, honestly, this is a decent. No, this is actually a good movie to show them because it. I mean, like you said, it's not really being condescending.
It's not.
It really is innocent, and it's
Yeah.
not a bad time filler. You know, to sit down and watch it as an adult, you're gonna just be zoboed out.
You
during
are,
it.
because
It's
I was
just
pretty
boring.
zoned out. I
You know,
like in
yeah.
the last. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, well, it's the case. We've mentioned this before. It's the case with all animated movies like this. The 3D is
The
spectacular.
3D looks amazing.
The 3D was amazing. The 3D was great. Like
It was.
Yeah, but I mean, you'll have that in an animated movie.
You will.
So yeah, the 3D was spectacular. I mean, I've seen animated movies where the 3D was just kind of average. This is well above average. The 3D they took their fucking time.
It was
on
the
this.
3D. It was.
Yeah.
It was very seamless.
Yeah.
You know, there wasn't any of that blur or the weird,
No, not at all.
blacking out. Everything was crisp. It was clear. It came
Yeah.
out. It was obvious. Well, I mean, not obvious, but it was. You know, they did a good job of bringing the 3D out without it beating you over the face, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, like,
It didn't do a lot of the obvious 3D
not
jokes.
a lot, but it used its atmosphere and angles and the speed along through the Indy 500 and all that. It used that really well to where, no one's standing there shooting a harpoon gun at the screen, but every now and then something will fly out. But it does those angles and atmosphere so well that you never forget you're seeing it in 3D. You're always kind of in there in that world in the 3D, and the 3D does grab you like that.
It does.
It did a good job with the 3D.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, I can't really recommend this to a person who may be a fan of just animated movies, you know, like
Me neither.
or just a fan of movies, I suppose. But I mean, it is an innocent enough child's movie. Like, I'm not mad at it. I don't feel like it's hurting our children or any of the other past rants I've been on. You know, it really is innocent. I could put this on for, you know, a child that I would ever have. it'd be okay with it.
Sure.
Like, I'm not going to feel like my kid's going to be a little bit dumber after they watch it after,
No.
you know, as opposed to some of the other movies I've seen on here.
Yeah, I mean, if you had very little to choose from and you just need to put something
Just need to kill
on,
some time so you can clean the house, do the dishes, what the fuck
yeah,
ever.
It,
You know what?
It
Why not?
serves that purpose.
It really does. It's not bad.
Yeah, I
in
would
that
not.
regards.
For a family to go out and pay theater prices, especially 3D prices. No. I mean, there's better movies that are out now that you could take your kids to. Take your kid.
Despicable
Take your
Me
kid to
2.
Despicable Me. Take your kid to honestly. Take your kid to Pacific Rim. That's the kind of movie that I, you know, that's the kind of popcorn flick I grew up watching, man. You know, take your kid to Pacific Rim. Take your kid to Despicable Me 2. I guess if you're there at a theater every weekend and you really need something to see and you've seen about everything else and you have your kids with you, it's like Jake said, you're not gonna get mad. You're gonna be bored.
Yeah.
But your kid will probably be pretty entertained by it because really this is just 6 or below in terms of ages. Like, it's like, really, if you're above the age of, maybe not 6, if you're above the age of like maybe 9, this will be,
Yeah, I would say probably like a 10-year-old. Yeah, between like 9 and 11 would be the cutoff point before
'cause
they would look at it and be like, no, this is kind of dumb.
yeah, because there isn't much in the way for like
There's
adult
very
humor.
little like even like teenage, a little bit juvenile humor. There's really not a lot of that.
No.
And there definitely is a very small amount of adult humor. It really is honestly geared towards a very specific age group.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it because they actually hit the mark and they did a decent job on it.
For just that
audience, they did a decent job.
They did a good job of making it not bad, not awful.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not
a good
it's
movie.
not very good.
No, but for the age group that they happen to decide to be very specific upon, I think they actually hit the mark on this. Because while it is a bad movie, it is very geared towards kids who are between, I don't know, 4 and 10.
Yeah, I mean, like, because, I mean, it's hard, because, yeah, you're right, because it's hard for me to sit here and say, yeah, this movie didn't work on me, because there wasn't much in the way of wide appeal between kids and parents. I think that it's important to have a little bit of both
I agree.
especially when it's the parents who are shelving out all of this money. I think it's very important to draw in both without alienating either party there. I think a movie like this that's just specifically for very, very, very little kids is better served just coming out on DVD. Is a lot better served just being a DVD feature that you can just put that in. Here you go. Maybe you'll learn a life lesson or something. Maybe you'll get some entertainment out of the way some of the characters talk. Theatrically, though, no. I mean, there's just not. Theatrically, though, I can't say to spend any money on this. I mean, believe me, I know the difference. Even when it's something that's not geared towards somebody who's my age, both of us know the difference between a good kids movie and a bad one. A movie doesn't have to be made for you to be able to tell whether or not it's a good or bad example.
Yeah,
of
even
that.
if you're, it really doesn't even matter, what genre or anything that a typical movie is. I mean, yeah, everybody's gonna have their own opinion, but really, I mean, if you break it down, everybody really can tell between a movie in a genre that hit the mark well, and a movie in the genre that fell kind of flat.
Yeah.
And this particular movie, to me personally, it falls flat, but it's more in like the middle ground.
I'd say
At
it's,
least to
I'd
me.
say it's just adequate. I'd say it's
It's
just,
adequate.
It's adequate.
It's
It's
there.
mediocre. It's there. It's forgettable. When your kid hits a certain age, I don't think this is the kind of movie that's going to stick with them for very
No,
long.
no.
It's not. Whereas when I was like 5 or 6 and saw like, okay, yeah, like Follow That Bird, I still carry that movie along with me in here, just right in here. And the part where Cookie Monster eats their VW bug is awesome. Cookie, if you gotta eat, go eat Olivia's luggage. Gordon?
Oh man, I need to watch that now.
I love that movie. So that's it. That's all I gotta say on it. Like, no, I don't recommend the movie, but if you have like a 5-year-old, I wouldn't recommend seeing it in the theater. But hey, if it comes on DVD, rent it, throw it in.
Yeah,
it's not Oogie Loves. It's
No.
not Oogie Loves. It's
like it would be okay to rent and show your kids. I mean, it really is. I mean, you will not be upset, really like angry, at least upset after seeing this. It'll just be another movie that you forget about.
yeah.
And there's nothing really wrong with it. Because again, it didn't offend me. It was just it's just there.
Well, tomorrow we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is The Conjuring, Red 2, and yeah, you're at RIPD. So yeah, we gotta wait for the offensive kids movie to come along when Smurfs 2. That's in a couple of weeks.
It sure is. I do need to say something on a more personal level. I guess I should look at the camera while I do this. I would like to say, not doing any kind of angry Jake shtick or anything like that. Speaking as a normal human being, I would actually like to thank each and every fan of the website who has, in either kind words or in money, have offered me help during, let's say, a moment in my life where I was contemplating whether or not I should spend the rest of my life in jail. Because I was, just no joke, just very close to committing actual murder. But
He's been dealing with a real dickhead who hit his car.
It's not just the dickhead who hit my car. There was other personal things that happened in my life.
Yeah.
Just right at the same time, and it made just this cauldron of, God damn, my life sucks right now. And, it was rough. It's hard. I'm still dealing with it. I still don't have my car. But, again, I do, from the bottom of my heart, I'm not used to, because of the way I kind of grew up, I'm not used to people helping me. I'm not used to people, helping me. It was always, I was on my own. I had to do it by myself. And, with the help of all my friends and this website, you guys have been able to help me out. And honestly,
Who would have thought you'd be thanking the website and the people who bother you every week asking?
look at this motherfucker. I'm trying to have a goddamn moment with my fan base. I could see the fucking look you were giving me out of the camera screen, and I knew you were just waiting to say
You knew
something.
I was going to say that.
So I'm going to need you, very kindly, to shut your goddamn mouth while I finish talking to my boys and my girls, all of them.
You've got the floor.
Thank you. Again, just thank you all very, very much. It honestly, it really does mean a lot to me. And that also means that I got to step up my game for the Smurfs review. And I got something planned.
Nice. Is it going to top setting ticket stub on fire? Perfect.
Yeah, it is.
Perfect, because I'm going to be at that screening too. Goddamn fucking midweek fucking releases on this shit. That means I got to be at that shit.
Yeah, it does.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, shit. Before I forget, so sorry. I do need to thank Tommy,
Oh,
Tommy,
The birthday card.
The birthday card that I got Tommy Williams. I don't know. I forgot the fucking card. But this happened a while ago, a little bit closer to my birthday, which was June 9th. Not everybody knows that because not everybody goes to MySpace.
Yeah.
I got a MySpace account. Bet you fuckers didn't know that. It's not like I check it.
Still you wearing that, like, beanie on your
I'm
head?
wearing, like, a bandana
Okay.
is what I'm wearing. And that picture, you remember when I just explained, or when I just said that, remember, I picked up a car?
Yeah.
That picture was taken seconds after I picked it up.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I picked it up just, motherfucker!
Yeah.
And I picked the front up and slammed it back down, and I went, oh, that was heavy. I was just, and then, my ex-fiance
Yeah.
Amanda at the time was like, oh, click, bitch, smile, smile. Yeah. So, anywho, Tommy Williams. I may just be making up the last name. So sorry, buddy. Tommy. He sent me a birthday card that he got from Walmart that had a very handsome shirtless cowboy.
Yeah.
And some nut hugger jeans. And you open it up and it says something. I don't remember what the hell it said. However, Tommy did write a little hand note thing, and I'm going to try to remember it the best that I can. And I believe almost verbatim because my memory is fantastic. It says, give major props to the Walmart cashier who rang this up because he kept a straight face the entire time. So Walmart cashier, props. He also sent me a $5 AMC gift card, which I bought peanut M&Ms for. Thank you. And he also sent me a joke, which I'm going to go ahead and tell.
I can't remember this.
Yeah, it was like this. The joke made me laugh just because of the randomness of it.
Yeah.
God bless you, people, my friends included, that just give me something they know is going to piss me off, but they do it such a roundabout, random way that I have no choice but to laugh at the fact that they're fucking with me. So I believe Tommy was probably fucking with me, or maybe he was being genuine. Either way, the joke made me laugh, not because of the joke, because of the delivery. Well done. But the joke was, there's 3 ducks in a pond. All right? And for some reason, somebody comes over and is like, what the fuck are you ducks doing? All right? And duck number 1 has been like, hey, I've been in here blowing bubbles. All right, he goes over to duck number 2. He's like, duck number 2, what are you doing what have you been doing in this pond lately? Duck number 2 is like, hey, man, look, I've just been out here blowing bubbles. And the guy goes over to duck number 3 and goes, let me guess, you've been out here all night blowing bubbles too? And the duck goes, no, sir, my name is Bubbles.
Last night I blew Chunks. You don't understand. Chunks is my dog.
That was all. I'm done being sentimental.
On that note, let's get 12 hours of sleep before we got to come back here tomorrow.
Man.
All right. We'll see you guys later.